Welcome, chosen ones. Today, we're embarking on a transformative journey that has the potential to deepen your relationship with God in ways you may have never imagined. Have you ever felt a profound distance from Him? You pray earnestly, but it seems like your words are just bouncing off the ceiling. Maybe you've yearned for more clarity, more peace, and a stronger sense of His presence in your life. If this resonates with you, know that you are not alone. Many of us have experienced this sense of longing, feeling as though something is blocking our connection to the divine. Here's a powerful truth to hold on to: God is always speaking. He has never ceased to communicate with us. The real question is, are we truly listening? Psalm 46:10 reminds us, "Be still and know that I am God." This verse holds profound wisdom, especially in our chaotic lives. Often, the reason we struggle to hear God's voice is not because He is silent, but rather because our lives are filled with distractions, doubts, and decisions that pull us away from Him. Today, I want to share 7 things that I had to let go of, things that were quietly suffocating my connection with God. These changes weren't easy, and they certainly didn't happen overnight. However, as I began to surrender these burdens and distractions, I noticed a remarkable transformation in my life. I believe that the clarity you are searching for is on the other side of letting go, and it's time to step into that freedom. As we navigate this journey together, I want to invite you to make a bold declaration of faith. If you're ready to step into your God-given purpose, drop a 777 in the comments below. This simple act is a sign of your commitment to release anything that may be obstructing your connection with God. It's your moment to declare, "I am ready for a deeper relationship with my Creator." When you create space for God, He fills it with His presence. When you quiet the noise around you, you become attuned to His whisper. This journey is about more than just letting go, it's about embracing what God has in store for you. So, as we dive into the 7 crucial things you need to release, I encourage you to reflect on your own life. What is holding you back? What distractions are keeping you from experiencing the fullness of God's love and guidance? Before we begin, I want to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support not only helps us reach more people with this uplifting message, but also creates a community where we can all grow together in faith. Together, we can support one another in our spiritual journeys, sharing insights and encouragement along the way. Thank you for being here and for taking this step toward transformation. I'm excited to explore these 7 essential things you need to let go of to hear God clearly. Let's embark on this journey together, and may it lead you to a place of greater peace, clarity, and connection with God. Remember, the best is yet to come. Let's dive into an essential aspect of our spiritual journey: the need to let go of toxic relationships. Relationships have a profound impact on our lives, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and spiritual well-being. It's crucial to recognize that not all relationships are beneficial, and some can actively hinder our growth and connection with God. Toxic relationships can manifest in various forms: friendships that drain your energy, family dynamics that foster negativity, or romantic partnerships that undermine your self-worth. These relationships often come with a heavy emotional toll, leaving you feeling depleted, anxious, or even trapped. Over time, the influence of toxic people can create barriers between you and your spiritual life, making it difficult to hear God's voice or feel His presence. Consider a time when you felt burdened by someone in your life. Perhaps it was a friend who constantly criticized you, or a family member who always seemed to bring negativity into your space. These interactions can create a cycle of self-doubt and fear, clouding your ability to see the goodness that God has for you. The more you allow these toxic influences to persist, the more they can distort your perception of yourself and your relationship with God. Letting go of toxic relationships doesn't mean you have to sever ties with everyone who causes you stress. Instead, it's about setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing your spiritual well-being. This process may involve difficult conversations or even distancing yourself from certain individuals. Remember, you have the right to protect your peace and cultivate an environment that nurtures your spiritual growth. A powerful step in this journey is to evaluate your current relationships. Reflect on how each person in your life impacts your emotional and spiritual state. Are there individuals who consistently bring negativity, judgment, or drama? It's essential to acknowledge these dynamics honestly. Sometimes, we hold on to toxic relationships out of fear of loneliness, fear of conflict, or fear of change. But holding on can be far more damaging than letting go. God calls us to surround ourselves with those who uplift and encourage us. In Proverbs 27:17, we are reminded that, iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. This verse underscores the importance of relationships that inspire growth and foster a deeper connection with God. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, who pray with you, and who help you see the goodness in your journey. When you begin to let go of toxic relationships, you'll likely experience a newfound sense of freedom. Imagine waking up each day feeling lighter, more at peace, and more attuned to God's voice. This journey is not just about removing negativity, it's about making room for positivity and love. As you distance yourself from toxic influences, you'll find that your focus shifts back to the things that truly matter: your relationship with God, your purpose, and your personal growth. It's important to approach this process with grace and compassion, both for yourself and for those you may need to distance from. You might feel guilty or sad about letting someone go, but remember that prioritizing your spiritual health is not selfish, it's necessary. God desires for us to thrive, not just survive, in our relationships. As you navigate letting go of toxic relationships, seek God's guidance through prayer. Ask Him to reveal any areas in your life where you need to make changes. Trust that He will lead you to healthier, more fulfilling connections. Surround yourself with a supportive community, friends, family, or a church group that encourages your spiritual growth. Together, you can uplift each other and walk the path of faith with clarity and purpose. In summary, letting go of toxic relationships is a vital step in your spiritual journey. It may be challenging, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you prioritize your emotional and spiritual well-being, you'll discover a deeper connection with God and a renewed sense of peace. Embrace this transformative process, and remember that God is with you every step of the way. The path to healing and growth begins with the courage to let go. One of the most powerful changes we can make in our lives is to stop criticizing others. It may seem harmless or even justified at times, but criticism can create a ripple effect that not only harms those we target but also negatively impacts our own spiritual journey. The act of criticizing often stems from our insecurities and frustrations, projecting our inner turmoil onto others. When we engage in this behavior, we not only diminish the value of those we criticize but also hinder our ability to see the good in ourselves and in the world around us. Criticism can manifest in various forms: subtle comments, harsh judgments, or even well-intentioned advice that comes off as condescending. It's easy to slip into the habit of pointing out flaws in others, especially in environments where competition and comparison are prevalent. However, what we often fail to realize is that each time we criticize, we are fostering an atmosphere of negativity and division, rather than one of love and unity. When we focus on the shortcomings of others, we lose sight of our own imperfections. Jesus reminds us in Matthew 7:3, Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? This verse challenges us to reflect on our own faults before casting judgment on others. By shifting our focus inward, we can cultivate a spirit of humility and self-awareness that allows for personal growth. Letting go of criticism requires a conscious effort to replace it with understanding and compassion. Instead of viewing others through a lens of judgment, we can choose to see them as fellow travelers on their own unique journeys. Each person we encounter is battling their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. When we approach others with empathy, we create a space where growth and healing can occur not only for them but for ourselves as well. One of the most impactful ways to stop criticizing is to practice gratitude. When we focus on the positive attributes of those around us, we begin to shift our mindset from one of judgment to one of appreciation. Take a moment to reflect on the strengths and qualities that you admire in others. A colleague's dedication, a friend's kindness, or a family member's creativity. These are the traits worth celebrating. By recognizing and vocalizing these positives, we can foster a culture of encouragement. Moreover, it's essential to be mindful of our words. The tongue has the power to build up or tear down, and our choice of language can greatly influence our relationships. Instead of making negative comments, we can choose to offer constructive feedback or simply refrain from saying anything at all. Sometimes, silence is more powerful than words. Embracing a non-critical attitude also opens the door to deeper connections with others. When we create an environment free from judgment, we allow people to be their authentic selves. This authenticity fosters trust and vulnerability, paving the way for more meaningful relationships. Imagine a community where everyone feels safe to express their thoughts and feelings without fear of being criticized. That's a space where true connection and growth can flourish. Additionally, we must remember the power of prayer in this process. Ask God to help you see others through His eyes, a perspective filled with love, compassion, and understanding. When we align our hearts with His, we become more equipped to extend grace to those around us, just as He extends grace to us. As we embark on this journey to stop criticizing others, let's commit to building each other up instead. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, and acknowledge the efforts that people make in their lives. By cultivating a culture of encouragement, we not only uplift those around us but also enrich our own spiritual lives. In closing, the decision to stop criticizing others is not merely an act of self-discipline, it's a commitment to living a life rooted in love and understanding. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and embracing the beauty of imperfection. As we shift our focus from judgment to compassion, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with God and with those around us. This journey may require effort and mindfulness, but the rewards, greater peace, stronger relationships, and a flourishing spirit are more than worth it. Let's choose to uplift one another and create a world where kindness and understanding reign. In today's fast-paced world, the pressure to do more can feel overwhelming. Many of us find ourselves caught in a cycle of overcommitting, whether it's to work, family, social obligations, or even church activities. It often starts with genuine intentions. We want to help, be involved, and support others. However, this desire to please can lead to burnout, stress, and a disconnect from our spiritual lives. Overcommitting can become an insidious trap. It can lead us to say yes to every request, regardless of our own capacity or needs. We might fill our calendars to the brim, believing that busyness equates to productivity or worth. Yet, in the midst of our packed schedules, we may find ourselves feeling drained and unfulfilled, struggling to maintain a connection with God amidst the chaos. The repercussions of overcommitting extend beyond mere fatigue. When we stretch ourselves too thin, we risk neglecting our own spiritual health. Our time with God may become an afterthought, squeezed in between commitments instead of being prioritized. This lack of intentionality can lead to feelings of isolation and a sense of spiritual dryness. It's essential to recognize that God does not call us to a life of perpetual busyness. In fact, Jesus modeled a different approach. Throughout his ministry, he often withdrew from the crowds to spend time in prayer and reflection. He understood the importance of balance, of stepping back to recharge and connect with the Father. If we want to follow his example, we must learn to prioritize our spiritual well-being over the incessant demands of life. Learning to say no can be one of the most liberating skills we can develop. Saying no doesn't mean we are unkind or unhelpful. It simply means we are being mindful of our limits and recognizing that we cannot pour from an empty cup. By setting boundaries, we create space for what truly matters: our relationship with God, our families, and our own self-care. Consider reflecting on your current commitments. Are there areas where you feel overwhelmed or stretched too thin? Take a moment to evaluate which commitments truly align with your values and priorities. It's okay to step back from obligations that no longer serve you or that drain your energy. By doing so, you allow yourself to invest your time and energy in pursuits that bring you joy and fulfillment. In this process, it's also important to communicate openly with others. Let them know that you are consciously choosing to focus on fewer commitments to maintain your well-being. Most people will understand and respect your decision, especially if you explain that you want to be fully present in the areas you choose to engage in. This honesty can often strengthen relationships rather than weaken them. Another key aspect to consider is the importance of rest. We live in a culture that often glorifies busyness, but God calls us to a rhythm of work and rest. In Genesis, we see that even God rested on the seventh day after creation. This divine example reminds us that rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity for our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. When we embrace rest, we allow ourselves to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with God. As you begin to stop overcommitting, consider integrating moments of stillness and reflection into your daily routine. These moments can help you center yourself, quiet your mind, and invite God into your decision-making process. Prayerfully consider what commitments are essential and where you can let go. When our calendars are less cluttered, we create space for God to speak into our lives, leading us with clarity and purpose. Ultimately, the journey to stop overcommitting is about reclaiming your time and energy for the things that truly matter. It's about finding balance and ensuring that your commitments align with your values and your calling. As you take this step, you may find that your relationship with God deepens, as you create opportunities to connect with Him without the distractions of a chaotic schedule. In conclusion, overcommitting can rob us of the joy and peace that God desires for us. By learning to say no, setting boundaries, and prioritizing rest, we can cultivate a life that is more aligned with God's purpose. Embrace the freedom that comes with intentional living, and allow yourself the grace to focus on what truly matters. As you let go of the burden of overcommitment, you'll discover a renewed sense of purpose, clarity, and connection with God and those you love. In an age where information is at our fingertips, the media we consume can have a profound impact on our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The rise of social media, news platforms, and entertainment channels has brought about a constant stream of content that often leans towards negativity. From sensationalized news stories to toxic social media interactions, the effects of negative media consumption can be subtle yet far-reaching, leading to anxiety, despair, and a disconnection from our spiritual lives. Engaging with negative media can shape our worldview in detrimental ways. When we constantly expose ourselves to distressing news or negative narratives, it can create a sense of hopelessness. We may begin to view the world through a lens of fear and distrust, overshadowing the beauty and goodness that also exists around us. This skewed perspective can hinder our ability to see God's hand at work in our lives and the lives of others. Moreover, negative media consumption can drain our emotional energy. When we read or watch content filled with negativity, our minds can become cluttered with anxiety and worry. This overload of information can lead to feelings of helplessness, making it difficult to focus on our own lives, relationships, and spiritual growth. Instead of fostering an attitude of gratitude and hope, we may find ourselves dwelling on the negative aspects of life, losing sight of the blessings that surround us. To cultivate a healthier relationship with media, it's essential to be intentional about what we allow into our minds and hearts. Start by assessing your media consumption habits. Are there specific news outlets, social media accounts, or entertainment channels that consistently leave you feeling drained or anxious? Identifying these sources is the first step towards making conscious choices about the media you engage with. Consider setting boundaries around your media consumption. This could involve limiting the amount of time spent on social media or designating specific times of the day for checking news updates. By creating space between you and negative media, you allow yourself to engage with more positive, uplifting content. Seek out sources that inspire hope, encourage growth, and highlight the goodness in humanity. There are countless platforms dedicated to sharing stories of kindness, resilience, and joy that can uplift your spirit and remind you of the beauty in the world. In addition to curating the content you consume, it's also important to engage in activities that nourish your soul. Spend time in nature, read uplifting books, or engage in creative hobbies that inspire you. Surrounding yourself with positivity can counteract the effects of negative media and help you cultivate a more balanced perspective. Another powerful way to combat negative media consumption is to practice mindfulness. Being present and aware of your feelings can help you recognize when media is affecting your mood or mindset. Pay attention to how certain content makes you feel. If you notice a negative shift in your emotions, give yourself permission to step away and refocus your energy on something more uplifting. Prayer and reflection can also play a significant role in this process. As you navigate the complexities of media consumption, take time to seek God's guidance. Ask for wisdom to discern what is beneficial for your spirit and what may be harmful. Allow His peace to fill your heart, helping you filter out negativity and embrace a mindset rooted in hope and faith. The impact of avoiding negative media consumption extends beyond your personal well-being. It can also influence those around you. When you choose to engage with uplifting content, you become a source of positivity for others. Your conversations and interactions can shift from discussing distressing news to sharing encouraging stories of hope and resilience. This ripple effect can create a more supportive environment, fostering deeper connections and a sense of community. Ultimately, avoiding negative media consumption is about reclaiming your time, energy, and mental space for what truly matters. It's about choosing to focus on the good, the beautiful, and the uplifting aspects of life. As you make this intentional shift, you'll likely find that your spiritual life flourishes. When you fill your mind and heart with positivity, you create an environment where God can work in and through you, guiding you towards a brighter, more hopeful future. In conclusion, the media we consume has a profound impact on our perception of the world and our spiritual well-being. By being intentional about avoiding negative media and surrounding ourselves with positivity, we can cultivate a mindset that fosters hope, gratitude, and a deeper connection with God. Embrace the journey of mindful media consumption, and allow it to transform your outlook on life, enriching your spirit and empowering you to shine brightly in a world that often feels overshadowed by negativity. Letting go of fear and doubt is one of the most liberating and transformative steps you can take in your spiritual journey. These two emotions often act as barriers, preventing us from fully embracing our purpose and experiencing the fullness of life that God intends for us. Fear and doubt can creep in subtly, often masquerading as caution or rational thinking, but they can quickly spiral into paralyzing obstacles that inhibit our growth and connection with God. Fear can manifest in many ways: fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of judgment, or fear of not being enough. It whispers lies that make us question our abilities, our worth, and even our relationship with God. When we allow fear to dominate our thoughts, we often become stuck in a cycle of inaction, hesitant to pursue the dreams and callings that God has placed in our hearts. It can feel safer to stay within our comfort zones, avoiding risks and the possibility of disappointment. However, this self-imposed limitation keeps us from experiencing the abundance and joy that comes from stepping out in faith. Doubt, on the other hand, can erode our confidence and trust in God. It can lead us to question His promises, His goodness, and even our own faith. When we doubt, we may second-guess our decisions, wonder if we are truly following God's path, or feel unworthy of His love and grace. This inner turmoil can create a rift in our relationship with God, making it difficult to hear His voice or feel His presence in our lives. To let go of fear and doubt, we must first acknowledge these emotions for what they are: temporary feelings that do not define us or our capabilities. The Bible reminds us in 2 Timothy 1:7 that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. This verse serves as a powerful reminder that we have access to divine strength and wisdom when we face our fears. By embracing this truth, we can begin to confront our fears head-on rather than allowing them to dictate our choices. One effective way to combat fear and doubt is through prayer and meditation. These practices create a sacred space where we can lay our fears before God, inviting Him into our struggles. In these moments of vulnerability, we can ask for His guidance, strength, and reassurance. As we pray, we may begin to feel a shift within ourselves, a growing sense of peace that replaces anxiety. This peace is a reminder that we are not alone in our journey. God walks with us, providing the support and encouragement we need to move forward. Another powerful strategy is to immerse ourselves in Scripture. The Bible is filled with stories of individuals who faced fear and doubt but ultimately triumphed through faith. By reflecting on these stories, we can draw inspiration and courage from the experiences of others. For instance, consider the story of Moses, who doubted his ability to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Despite his fears, God equipped him with the tools he needed to fulfill his purpose. Similarly, we can trust that God will provide us with what we need to overcome our own challenges. Surrounding ourselves with a supportive community can also help us navigate fear and doubt. Engaging with fellow believers, whether through a church group, study group, or trusted friends, creates an environment where we can share our struggles and receive encouragement. When we vocalize our fears, we often find that others have faced similar challenges, allowing us to feel less isolated. Together, we can uplift one another, reminding each other of God's promises and the strength we have in Him. Letting go of fear and doubt is not a one-time event, it's a continual process. There may be moments when fear resurfaces, or doubt creeps back in, especially when we encounter new challenges or transitions in life. In these times, it's essential to be gentle with ourselves. Acknowledge the emotions, but don't allow them to take the driver's seat. Instead, reaffirm your faith and trust in God, remembering that He is bigger than any fear or doubt we may face. As you embark on this journey of letting go, consider journaling your thoughts and prayers. Writing can be a powerful tool for processing emotions and gaining clarity. Document your fears, doubts, and the ways in which you see God working in your life. Over time, you may notice patterns, breakthroughs, and areas of growth that encourage you to keep moving forward. Ultimately, letting go of fear and doubt opens up a world of possibilities. It allows you to step into your God-given purpose with confidence, knowing that you are equipped and supported. When you release these burdens, you make room for faith, hope, and love to flourish in your life. Embrace the freedom that comes from trusting in God's plan, and watch as He transforms your journey into one filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. In a world where social validation often dictates our self-worth, the journey to stop seeking approval from others can be both challenging and liberating. Many of us have experienced the subtle pressure to conform to societal expectations, striving for recognition and affirmation from friends, family, and even strangers. This relentless quest for approval can overshadow our true identities and diminish our confidence, preventing us from fully embracing who we are and what we are called to do. Seeking approval from others often stems from a deep-rooted desire for acceptance and love. We want to be seen, valued, and appreciated, which is a natural human inclination. However, when this desire morphs into an unhealthy dependence on external validation, it can lead to a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. We may find ourselves constantly measuring our worth against the opinions of others, questioning our choices, and feeling inadequate when we don't receive the affirmation we crave. This struggle can be particularly pronounced in our spiritual lives. When we seek approval from others, we may compromise our values or shy away from pursuing our true calling out of fear of judgment. We might hesitate to express our beliefs or share our testimonies, worried about how we will be perceived. This fear can create a barrier between us and our relationship with God, hindering our ability to fully embrace His love and purpose for our lives. To break free from the need for approval, we must first acknowledge our inherent worth as children of God. The Bible reminds us in Psalm 139:14, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." This truth serves as a foundation for our identity, emphasizing that we are created with intention and purpose. When we recognize that our value is not contingent upon others' opinions but rooted in our relationship with God, we can begin to shift our perspective. One essential step in this journey is to cultivate self-awareness. Take time to reflect on the areas where you find yourself seeking approval most intensely. Is it in your career, your relationships, or your appearance? Understanding where this desire originates can help you identify patterns and triggers, enabling you to address them consciously. As we work to let go of the need for approval, it's vital to develop a strong sense of self-acceptance. This involves embracing both our strengths and weaknesses, acknowledging that we are imperfect beings on a journey of growth. Instead of striving for perfection or comparing ourselves to others, we can practice gratitude for the unique gifts and qualities that God has bestowed upon us. Journaling can be a helpful tool in this process, allowing us to document our thoughts, feelings, and personal growth. Another powerful strategy is to surround ourselves with a supportive community that uplifts and encourages us. Engaging with individuals who affirm our true selves can provide a counterbalance to the negative voices that often seek to undermine our confidence. Seek out relationships that celebrate authenticity and encourage you to pursue your passions without fear of judgment. In addition to fostering supportive relationships, it's essential to set healthy boundaries. This may involve distancing yourself from individuals or environments that perpetuate a culture of comparison or criticism. Recognize that you have the power to choose where you invest your time and energy. Surrounding yourself with positive influences can empower you to embrace your identity and pursue your God-given purpose with confidence. Prayer and meditation can also play a significant role in this journey. Take time to seek God's guidance and affirmation. Ask Him to help you release the fear of judgment and to fill your heart with His unconditional love. In these moments of communion with God, you may find the strength and reassurance you need to stand firm in your identity, free from the need for external validation. As you embark on this journey to stop seeking approval from others, remember that it's a process that takes time and intentionality. There may be moments of weakness when you find yourself slipping back into old patterns. Be gentle with yourself during these times, and remind yourself of the progress you've made. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and continue to lean on God for strength. Ultimately, breaking free from the need for approval is about reclaiming your identity and embracing the unique purpose that God has laid out for you. When you stop seeking validation from others, you make space for authentic living where you can fully express your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without fear of judgment. This authenticity not only enriches your own life but also inspires those around you to embrace their true selves. In conclusion, letting go of the need for approval from others is a powerful step towards spiritual and personal growth. By recognizing your inherent worth in God's eyes, cultivating self-acceptance, surrounding yourself with supportive relationships, and seeking God's guidance through prayer, you can break free from the chains of external validation. Embrace this journey with courage and confidence, knowing that you are a beloved child of God, uniquely designed to fulfill a purpose that only you can achieve. Releasing emotional control can be a pivotal step in our journey towards spiritual growth and personal well-being. Many of us grapple with our emotions daily, striving to manage feelings of anger, sadness, anxiety, or frustration. While it's natural to want to maintain control over our emotional responses, the quest for emotional regulation can sometimes lead to suppression rather than healthy expression. This suppression can create an internal struggle that distances us from our true selves and from God, hindering our spiritual journey. Emotions are a fundamental part of the human experience, serving as indicators of our inner state and responses to the world around us. When we attempt to control or suppress these emotions, we may inadvertently create a barrier that prevents us from fully experiencing life. It is essential to understand that emotions are not inherently negative or positive, rather, they are natural responses that help us navigate our experiences. By acknowledging and embracing our emotions, we allow ourselves to engage more authentically with ourselves and others. The desire to control our emotions often stems from a fear of vulnerability. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that expressing emotions, especially those deemed negative, is a sign of weakness. This belief can lead to emotional bottling, where feelings are pushed down and ignored. However, this approach can result in emotional outbursts or an overwhelming sense of anxiety when the suppressed feelings inevitably surface. Instead of fostering emotional resilience, the need for control can create a cycle of fear and avoidance. To begin the process of releasing emotional control, we must first cultivate self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your emotional responses. What triggers certain feelings? How do you typically react when faced with strong emotions? By understanding the patterns in your emotional life, you can begin to identify areas where you may be exerting excessive control. Journaling can be an excellent tool for this reflection, allowing you to articulate your feelings and observe the underlying thoughts driving them. Once you have gained insight into your emotional landscape, the next step is to practice acceptance. Embracing your emotions means allowing yourself to feel without judgment. When anger arises, acknowledge it as a valid response to a situation rather than trying to suppress it. When sadness creeps in, Give yourself permission to grieve without feeling ashamed. This acceptance can be liberating, as it removes the stigma associated with experiencing a range of emotions. Prayer and meditation can also play a significant role in this journey. These practices provide a space for you to connect with God and invite Him into your emotional experiences. Share your feelings with Him, whether they are joyful, painful, or confusing. In these moments of communion, you may find comfort and clarity, allowing God's presence to soothe your heart and mind. Another essential aspect of releasing emotional control is learning to express your feelings in healthy ways. This expression can take many forms, from talking to a trusted friend to engaging in creative outlets like art, music, or writing. Finding constructive ways to express emotions helps prevent them from building up inside and provides an opportunity for healing. It's important to remember that expressing emotions does not equate to losing control. Rather, it's a way of honoring your feelings and acknowledging their significance in your life. Developing emotional resilience is also key to this process. Resilience allows you to navigate life's challenges without feeling overwhelmed by your emotions. This doesn't mean you will never feel sadness or anger. Instead, it means you will learn to respond to these feelings with grace and understanding. Building resilience can involve practicing mindfulness, engaging in self-care, and seeking support from others. Surrounding yourself with a community that encourages emotional expression and growth can foster a sense of belonging and connection. As you journey toward releasing emotional control, be patient with yourself. This process takes time and practice. There may be moments when you feel tempted to revert to old habits of suppression or avoidance. In those times, remind yourself of the commitment you've made to embrace your emotions. Acknowledge that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, and that each step you take toward emotional freedom brings you closer to a more authentic and fulfilling life. In conclusion, releasing emotional control is about embracing the full spectrum of our emotional experiences. By cultivating self-awareness, practicing acceptance, seeking God's guidance, and finding healthy ways to express our feelings, we can transform our relationship with emotions. This journey not only fosters personal growth but also deepens our connection with God, allowing us to live more authentically and fully. As we learn to navigate our emotions with grace and compassion, we open ourselves to a life rich in meaning, connection, and spiritual fulfillment. In the journey of life, we often encounter challenges that shape our perspectives and influence our paths. As we navigate the complexities of our emotions, relationships, and spiritual growth, we come to understand the importance of embracing a holistic approach to well-being. The topics we've explored: letting go of fear and doubt, avoiding negative media consumption, releasing emotional control, and stopping the quest for approval from others, serve as foundational pillars in our pursuit of a more authentic and fulfilling life. Letting go of fear and doubt is an essential step toward freedom. These emotions can paralyze us, preventing us from pursuing our dreams and living fully in the present. By recognizing the validity of our fears and doubts, we can confront them with courage. This confrontation allows us to reclaim our power and trust in God's guidance. When we shift our focus from what holds us back to the possibilities that lie ahead, we open ourselves to new opportunities and experiences that enrich our lives. In a world saturated with negativity, the decision to avoid negative media consumption can significantly impact our mental and spiritual health. The information we absorb shapes our worldview, and by choosing uplifting and encouraging content, we foster a more positive mindset. This proactive approach not only enhances our well-being but also allows us to be beacons of light for others. When we cultivate a spirit of positivity, we create a ripple effect that encourages those around us to embrace hope and resilience. Releasing emotional control is another vital aspect of personal growth. Emotions are powerful indicators of our inner state, and learning to accept and express them authentically leads to deeper self-understanding. By embracing our emotions without judgment, we create space for healing and connection. This practice not only enhances our relationship with ourselves but also strengthens our bonds with others. When we express our feelings in healthy ways, we foster an environment of trust and vulnerability, allowing for more meaningful relationships. Finally, the journey to stop seeking approval from others empowers us to embrace our true selves. In a society that often pressures us to conform, reclaiming our identity is a radical act of self-love. By grounding our self-worth in our inherent value as children of God, we can release the need for external validation. This liberation enables us to pursue our passions and fulfill our callings without fear of judgment. In doing so, we embody authenticity, inspiring others to do the same. As we reflect on these themes, it becomes evident that personal and spiritual growth is an ongoing journey. Each of these aspects is interconnected, influencing our overall well-being and our ability to thrive in a complex world. Embracing this holistic approach invites us to cultivate resilience, compassion, and gratitude in our lives. It encourages us to lean into our faith, seeking God's wisdom and guidance as we navigate the challenges and triumphs of life. In conclusion, the path to living a more authentic and fulfilling life is marked by intentional choices. By letting go of fear and doubt, avoiding negative influences, releasing emotional control, and embracing our true selves, we can create a life rich in purpose and connection. This journey requires patience and dedication, but the rewards greater peace, deeper relationships, and a more profound sense of belonging are worth the effort. As we continue to grow and evolve, may we remain open to the lessons that life presents, trusting that God is with us every step of the way. Together, let us strive to live with intention, embracing the fullness of life that awaits us. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, the threads of experience, emotion, and faith weave together to form a unique picture of who we are. As we journey through the peaks and valleys of our existence, we often find ourselves grappling with challenges that test our resilience and shape our character. The themes we've explored, embracing authenticity, letting go of fear and doubt, avoiding negative influences, and releasing emotional control, offer profound insights into how we can navigate these complexities with grace and intention. Embracing authenticity is perhaps one of the most liberating choices we can make. In a world that often pressures us to conform, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and true to our identities is a courageous act. It requires the willingness to step away from societal expectations and to trust that our unique qualities are not just acceptable but valuable. When we embrace who we are, we not only foster our own growth but also create an environment where others feel empowered to do the same. This authenticity can lead to deeper connections, richer relationships, and a sense of belonging that transcends superficial interactions. Letting go of fear and doubt is a challenging yet essential part of this journey. Fear can be a powerful force, often stemming from our desire for safety and acceptance. However, when we allow fear to dictate our choices, we may miss out on opportunities for growth and transformation. By confronting our fears and doubts head-on, we open ourselves to new possibilities, aligning our actions with our true selves. This process often requires faith in ourselves, faith in our abilities, and faith in a higher purpose guiding our lives. Avoiding negative influences, particularly in the media we consume, also plays a crucial role in our overall well-being. The constant influx of negative information can cloud our perspectives and lead to feelings of hopelessness. By consciously choosing to engage with positive, uplifting content, we can cultivate a mindset that fosters resilience and hope. This choice not only benefits our mental health but also enables us to be sources of positivity for those around us. In a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming, our commitment to seeking out the good can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to adopt a similar approach. Releasing emotional control is another vital aspect of this journey. Our emotions are not to be feared or suppressed, they are vital signals that provide insight into our inner selves. Learning to accept and express our emotions authentically can lead to profound healing and connection. When we allow ourselves to feel deeply, we create space for growth and understanding. This emotional honesty fosters deeper relationships, as we invite others into our experiences and create a foundation of trust and vulnerability. As we reflect on these themes, it's essential to recognize that this journey is not a destination but rather a continuous process of growth and learning. Life will inevitably present us with challenges, and we may find ourselves grappling with fear, doubt, or the desire for approval at various points along the way. However, by cultivating self-awareness and practicing the principles we've discussed, we can navigate these challenges with greater ease and grace. In closing, the journey toward authentic living and emotional freedom is one of the most rewarding pursuits we can undertake. It invites us to explore the depths of our being, to connect with others on a profound level, and to engage with life fully. As we embrace our true selves, let go of limiting beliefs, and foster positive influences, we create a life rich in purpose and fulfillment. May we continue to seek growth, embracing the lessons life offers and trusting in the divine guidance that accompanies us on this journey. Each step we take toward authenticity not only transforms our lives but also inspires those around us to embark on their own paths of discovery and growth.